Hey guys, welcome back. Scott here with a new beer dissection video. Depending when you're watching this, recently I had a friend of the family, Troy, Bob, I'll give you a shout out. Troy's down in Columbia, South Carolina. Brought some beers up, roughly 4 or 5 beers. At the filming of this, I've recorded a couple. I haven't edited them, maybe even posted them yet on YouTube. A couple were from Columbia, South Carolina, and or Greensboro, North Carolina, because some of these breweries have locations at 2 different places. What I have today is from Steel Hands Brewing. It's their Doppelbock, okay? And it's coming at 7.5% German-style amber lager. What I'm gonna try to do when I edit this video is tag at the very end. YouTube allows you to put what's most pertinent video. I did a whole thing on Doppelbock, a whole history, everything. It's under the what is style. And so if that stuff interests you and you're a beer geek, click on it, take a look at it. Remember, Bock means it's German for goat. So that's why you see a lot of goats on it. Like Spot and Optimator, you'll see goats, Augustiner, Maximator, things like that. So I go into a lot of detail about the naming. I talk about the St. Paula monks in Bavaria, about Polaner Brewery. Salvator is the original Doppelbock, and Doppelbock means double goat. And I could talk about Einbeck, and there was a dialect that made it sound like it was Einbach, and in there. So if you find that interesting, some of you don't, fast forward it, or when you get to the end of the video, you'll see a little box. It'll say, what is Bock? I'll try to remember to make sure I tag that in there. So again, this is obviously their version of a Doppelbock or double goat. I'm surprised they don't have 2 goats there, and I'm going to probably have the picture popping over my shoulder. 7.5%. And, again, remember with Bock's got to be usually in Germany, a little over 6%. Doppelbock's got to be around 7%, give or take. They usually go by original gravity, things like that. So this one's out of, I believe, Columbia, South Carolina. No, Casey, South Carolina, as well as Greensboro, North Carolina. So Steel Hands Brewing, which is probably in 2 locations down there. And that's it. And there's the goat again on the back of the can. All right, so let's crack this bad boy open. Doppelbock has become one of my more favorite styles of beer. And that would probably not surprise a lot of my friends that are local to me, but that's it. So let's crack this bad boy open. Again, look for that video at the end, or look at it, go on my what is style if you really like that stuff. I go into a lot of detail, more detail than some others would like, but for some of you that are beer geeks, I talk about the actual style, and I go into it is a German style of beer. And there are many examples out there. So let's take a look at this head. Beautiful 2.5 inches, frothy, pretty tight, dense bubbles, kind of an off-white head, which is pretty standard. This one's kind of like a medium amber color, pretty sparkling clear. Again, pretty true to style so far. Okay, medium amber clear, that's it. Let's take a sip of the aroma. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Baked bread. Think of like challah bread, crusty challah bread that's toasted. Even if you want to say pumpernickel bread, I'd even go that far. Light caramel. Okay, pretty, light caramel toffee. Maillard reaction. This is going to be a malt forward beer. Hops are not going to be that vital in this particular beer. And even though I get maybe a little bit of an herbal character, I'm sure, I don't know what this brewery's using. They don't have to use German noble hops, but Hallertau Mittelfrüh, Spalt, Tettning are the typical German hops that are used in the classic styles, the German styles. Now, whether they're using that or not, they're not married to the same rules that Germany is used to, the Reinheitsgebot, but this is giving me a little bit of that, as far as the herbal character to it. Baked bread, caramel, toffee, Maillard reaction. Very nice. Dark bread, challah bread, toast, you name it, you got it. All right, guys, Prost, I should say, for this beer. Cheers. Oh, wow, got this at perfect temperature. Same thing. Think of challah bread. I'm here on Long Island. Challah bread's very popular. Toast, medium toast, bread crust, bread crumbs. But definitely, I think the dark bread is, like challah bread, is like spot on for this. Low bitterness, which you would expect from a Doppelbock. Not getting a ton of hop character to this, which is, again, normal for the style. It's not a knock to the brewery, just the way Doppelbock is. But you can say malt forward, bread crust, dark bread, toffee. Even on the aftertaste, that's what you're kind of left with. You kind of get that, maybe if you want to say brown sugar, you maybe get a little bit of that. Low bitterness, which again is pretty standard for this style. And I don't know if I gave you the ABV. I think I did give you the ABV because I talked about how Bock, at least in Germany, Bock, this one's at 7.5%. You know, I think I told you, quickly about in Germany that Bocks and Doppelbocks have a particular original gravity that needs to be there for certain alcoholic strength to be legal. Okay, we don't have that in the United States, but most of these brewers try to do that as best as they can. But this is really nice. Bitterness is, like I said, kind of low. This is definitely medium full-bodied. Again, same thing with the malt character. Dark bread, challah bread, bread crust, things like that. Maillard reaction. If you wanted to say a little bit of a dark fruit character, like raisin, rum raisin type of thing, you get that there, but I wouldn't go much further than that. Like I said, the body's kind of medium full, which is pretty standard for the style. Really enjoying. I think it's a really good rendition of Doppelbock here in the United States. Little creaminess in the back end. Again, I'm kind of left with that brown sugar Maillard reaction bread, dark bread character to this. Very nice, very nice though, guys. So anyway, grade-wise for this, I mean, today's beer dissection is from another one from Steel Hands Brewing. Look for my under my what is style for other beers that I think I have one or two from this that they brought up for me from South Carolina and North Carolina. But this is Steel Hands Brewing Doppelbock Double Goat. Okay, 7.5% alcohol. I got to go A. I mean, I really can't go any lower than this. Overall drinkability, I'm going to go A. Listen, if you wanted to bring it down to A-, if you wanted to compare it to all the, again, in that video, I talk about how the naming rights of this thing with Ador, Salvator, and a lot of them use Ador suffix on these Doppelbocks. So whether it's Augustine or Maximator, Spot and Optimator, Iyinger, Celebrator, things like that. You get the idea. They usually use that suffix here. This one, I'm actually surprised they didn't use Doppelbock, German-style lager, even though they're using the goat on there. Take a look at that video if you find that interesting. But again, I got to say, no lower than A with this. It's really good. Again, rendition of a Doppelbock. And I love Doppelbocks. And drink it a little warmer. Drink it like that 52, 54 degrees. If you ever want to be a little colder, let it warm up in your glass. You get a lot more of that malt character to it. Again, even on the taste buds, like I told you, maybe there's a slight herbal component. Hops are not as vital in this particular beer. And that's it. So anyway, guys, today's beer dissection, Steel Hands Brewing from Kelsey, South Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Doppelbock, German-style amber lager, which, again, we are beyond Oktoberfest here. And even though this is not a Märzen Oktoberfest beer, this is but a German-style beer. Sometimes these guys will roll these out at the breweries around the same time. Great winter beer. And that's it. I would highly recommend it. And if I saw this, if they had footprint up here in New York, I'm here on Long Island, New York, I would take a look at these guys. I'm very pleased. Thank you, Troy, Bob. And till my next beer dissection video, have a great day, guys. Take care.